Don't be nervous. It's fine. This is really simple. It's just a video clip. No one's going to see it.
Perfect.
So maybe my mother.
Okay.
So
Yeah, they might be visiting. I'll get to see her when
yeah, you will.
they
They'll be
come
out
up in Cheshire.
They'll be there in Cheshire.
That'll be beautiful. When are they coming up?
So they arrived to Los Angeles on the 24th of August.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
a few days with me and then go over to Connecticut.
Beautiful. You with them.
So,
Wonderful.
Father Walter, what is the name of your book?
The name of the book is The Splendor of Love. And there's a Spanish version, that the first volume of The Splendor of Love, which has just come out. It's called Matrimonio y Familia, un nuevo horizonte. And the main theme of The Splendor of Love is John Paul II's theology of the body, his life-transforming teachings on married love, on the family, on what is the essence, the heart of that love between husband and wife, and how to live that in their daily life as husband and wife, as parents.
What are some virtues that would come out of a correct living of this teaching of the church?
Well, one of the virtues that is very essential is the virtue of chastity, because in the conjugal act, John Paul II doesn't hesitate to say that husband and wife imitate the self-giving love of the Blessed Trinity. And what is that inner meaning of the conjugal act? It's like an incarnation of all those acts of self-giving love they make to one another during the day. When she comes and greets him with a nice kiss or a hug at the end of a long day, when he works hard for his family to support them, all of those acts of love are made flesh in that act of self-giving love of the conjugal act. And chastity is very necessary, because the Pope says you can't give what isn't yours. And how do we possess ourselves to make a gift of ourselves in love? It's precisely through that virtue of chastity, through that self-mastery that we have of ourselves, through the virtue of chastity.
How do you see it spilling over into their lives as mothers and fathers of children?
Well, I think that's one of the beautiful things, that children are very perceptive. They're able to perceive that love between mother and father, that gentleness that they have with one another, that respect, that kindness. And if they have that with one another, it naturally also spills over into the way they treat their children. They see each one of their children as persons that God has created and entrusted to their care, and has given to them as a gift that will last for all eternity.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. In your own family, any reflections there or lessons that you learned growing up as a kid?
Well, I grew up on the first farm north of Curry, Minnesota, population 368. My dad was a farmer. There were 7 of us children. I'm number 2 of the 7, so my older brother Carla and I used to help Dad out in the fields in the summer stacking hay. We used to take turns milking the cow for the family in the evenings. Dad would milk it in the morning so we could get off to school. And I would say there I kind of learned the meaning of self-giving love, because there's a lot of give and take when you have 3 brothers and 3 sisters. And we all had to kind of, at times, fight it out for our own terrain, but mostly learn how to share, how to live with each other, how to appreciate the beauty of having brothers and sisters. Just like John Paul II said on his visit to the U.S. in Washington, D.C., he said the best gift that parents could ever give to their children is not so much a great education or the latest car when they turn 16, but it's another brother or sister.
That's a very funny. Here we are, right close to Washington, D.C. as we do this interview.
Right,
Father,
here in Bethesda.
To close up, how would someone get hold of this book? Either in Spanish or in English?
For Spanish or English, it's available on Amazon.com. So you just have to Google either my name, Father Walter Schu, S-C-H-U, or else the title, The Splendor of Love. And in Spanish, it's Matrimonio y Familia, un nuevo horizonte.
And how long did it take you to actually start and finish the book?
Well, The Splendor of Love took about 2.5 years to write. And the Spanish version has a couple chapters that update it, because it just came out last November. And it took a good 2 to 3 months to put in those new chapters into it. Yeah. So it's hot off the press.
Hot off the press.
And volume 2 in Spanish is coming out in November. And volume 3 in March of 2017.
So you're going to be working on this?
Yes.
Intensely?
Yes, that'll be part of my work during the next few months. But it's a real joy. Delving into John Paul II's teaching really helps me a lot as a priest, and I'm confident from past experiences that it will help any families who delve into it. And also, it can be used for discussion groups, for groups of families. Right now, the Cana Family Institute, Familia, is using it in English and in Spanish for group discussions. And it really helps couples form those bonds of union among one another and helps them talk about things like parenting between each other as couples, and they learn from one another. So there's a whole new dynamic when you use it as a group, which is a very fruitful thing.
Yeah. If I heard correctly, Father Simon, and you may be putting on a marriage
Renewal,
retreat.
yes, there's a marriage renewal coming up in Cancun, February 9th to the 11th. It might even be expanded a couple days, so it might be February 8th to the 12th, depending on the feedback we get from the couples who want to participate. So that's a golden opportunity to renew that married love, to have a little retreat. There's also going to be a mission to the City of Joy as part of it, a little mission out into the jungles of Cancun, where there's legionary priests working in chapels spread across the whole area.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for those who want to have that real concrete renewal of their married love. I would highly recommend it. And both of us will be there to give spiritual direction, to give the retreat, to talk with the couples. There's a beautiful chapel, a glass chapel right on the beach, right on the water as part of the hotel. And there's an evening of dancing on the beach and a little wine and dinner as couples, so it's a great occasion.
Well, now that you've gone into more serious subjects there, Father, I want to close off with what has brought about in your general culture here in the United States of a great love for Dunkin' Donuts?
I would say that is something that kind of gradually developed. It's not that I really like Dunkin' Donuts so much. It's mostly just doing it for the community, right? In case you believe that one.